Now, good day everyone. Let me start this particular talk by first saying that we live in a society where the looters at the executive level are arresting the looters at the bottom of the food chain. All are looters and all are thieves. You understand? Whether they do them at executive level or they do them at the bottom, all are thieves. Only say, now who get mouth pass, now you just use your own power, take suppress or oppress the ones that won't feel oppressed. That being said, I've said this in my former video, that no matter the good we want to do as young people in this country, even if we bring ourselves together and try to see how we can begin to, organize ourselves and do better, even with policies, getting into politics and all of that, and just putting ourselves together to begin to make more noise. No matter how much we do, like I said in the last video, these other sets of youths that are very hungry, who we call hoodlums, who we call thugs, they can always be used to destroy the good things that we are planning for. And why is this so? It's simply because these so-called hoodlums that we refer to, these guys are loyal to the persons, to the person or persons that seems to give them food or give them money in their pocket. Those guys are loyal. Those guys are loyal. They are loyal to whoever it is will take care of them. The truth is this: society has abandoned these guys. The truth is, if they had the opportunity that some other people have, they probably will not be in the position where they are right now. But it is easier to tag them as hoodlums. It's easier to just look at them and say, even we don't profile them and we've abandoned them. Hungry man, when hungry enters system, when hunger enters system. Now hungry now make some girls turn to prostitutes now. Hunger now make some boys turn to yahoo. Hunger now make some people go loot. I'm not giving an excuse for anybody's bad behavior. I will never condemn bad behavior. But sometimes you have to look at the cause. What carry people enter like this? Guess what? The hoodlum that we ignore today can become the thug or the hoodlum that will rob you tomorrow. We all have a part to play in all of this. The elites have decided to keep those ones poor so they can use them to perpetrate their evil when time comes. Now, we the good ones too are playing a part in that too. By profiling these guys who we call hoodlums, we see them and we just ignore them because in our mind that will be the saints. They are the evil ones. But guess what? These guys, like I said before, are loyal to whoever it is that recognizes them, whoever it is that just looks at them and just gives them money for food. That is why they are very, very cheap to convince to do evil. So there are two things. There is evil, there is good. The good ones are not doing anything, and so the good ones are withholding. Meanwhile, the evil ones are using their evil and their power and their money to take care of these guys. Who they go they loyal to? It's the bad guys. Why? Because evil will continue to thrive as long as good remains silent. As long as good is inactive, evil will continue to thrive. All of this being said, I'm just trying to let us understand something, that we have to begin to get very conscious on the way forward, how to handle the hoodlums and the thugs. I'll give you a story. The experience worship events we House on the Rock they do on a yearly basis. I remember the first one they do. I attended that one. And right after the event, some people were robbed by hoodlums and thugs. They were robbed. By the next year, I observed something, and someone else who is in-house told me. He said, what did the church now do? And this is where wisdom comes in. The church now said, okay, you know what will happen? Since we have a good number of these hoodlums everywhere, let us employ them. Finally, those hoodlums were now employed alongside police people, but they were also employed to be like foot soldiers. They were employed for security at the next experience. And guess what? After the next experience, come and see where hoodlums come, they catch their fellow hoodlums. Why? Because they've been given work to do. They've been given food. I'm sure they were paid salaries. And maybe they are also promised that if you not catch anybody, we will give you this extra thing. Do you understand? These guys are loyal to the people who give them food, who take care of them, who recognize them. We need to begin to think of very creative ways to start to get these guys, you know, to come on our own side, because we need them. Have you seen the number of hoodlums will come out this period throughout the nation, Lagos and everywhere? There are plenty. And if youths in the country constitute 80% of the economy, or more, if that half na thugs, then that means there's problem. You and I have a duty to play in all of this. We have, as we tackle executive, may we say they tackle our own self. You understand? Because look, at the end of the day, you and I can be affected. Many people don't ignore them. Some people are feeling very comfortable in the comfort of their own homes and everything. The truth is this: while you can buy data and you are okay with your data, you are on Instagram, you can watch this video, it gets some other people then when they under you. Where that's 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, what they buy data. Now be they are feeding money for 1 month. So when these guys here say, oh, money thing they happen around, bam, they don't run, go do things. Now where opportunity presents itself. So in their eye, there's nothing good or evil, no. So if we now on this side now need to buy these guys over to our own side, we need to begin to think of how we can now take care of their stomach, how we can begin to give them some type of orientation. But you know the guy who they give orientation whenever chop. They got to chop. So we need to think of that first. From now, how do we draw them on our side? How do we begin to take care of them? How do we begin to give them small thing? All of these guys and these hoodlums, they are organized. If you don't know, they are very organized. You don't see where phone lost inside like Lagos market, and you just go block one of them for corner and say, okay, I'm ready to drop money. That phone will come out. That's happened to me twice. My phone came out. As big as Lagos market was, my phone fall out. I paid some money, of course, but they know their own networking. Most of these hoodlums usually have one head, one person where they be their oga. If you can get that guy, if we can get that guy to come to our own side, almost forget, we don't solve part of the problem because he cannot relate to the rest. But they need to be taken care of. Later on, when we start to do things like, you know, our own, we start to gather our own youths where we want me to represent us, you know, in politics and all of that, we need those celebrities who are indigenous. The likes of Olamide, Zlatan, Naira Marley. These guys speak some type of Yoruba. And then for the Igbos, we have Fino, we have Nigaro, we have some other people who do it. And then we have other people too who can also, Idris Abdulkarim speaks Hausa. He can talk to his people. A number of them, P-Square, they speak Hausa. These guys, you can relate. You understand? These celebrities can put out word now and say, okay, now why would they give these guys food for, you know, why we're taking care of them and taking care of one or two other things? These guys can now come and say, okay, make we speak our language, give them. Most speak our language, give them. Orientation, but they need to hear it from someone who speaks like them. If an Olamide come out now and say, chop. If someone like Fino comes and talk to his Igbo brothers and say, okay, because Igbo said they get their own talk. Everywhere talk they come out and say, okay, see. Before you know what they happen, we don't buy these guys them over. But first things first, we need to take care of their stomach. They need to be taken care of. We've ignored them for too long. Even me, for my own area, I take care of one or two. Those guys loyal to me die. They're loyal to me die. In fact, sometimes I'm driving, I just stop, I buy them drinks, buy them food, make sure they are okay, and I drive into my estate. God knows, one time my car broke down. They pushed my car all the way to the house. They called a mechanic. He fixed my car. Then they washed the car. Why? Because I take care of them for junction. They washed the car. I said, okay, how much I'll give now? They say, hey, Oga, I was expecting to get some kind of money, maybe 15,000 or something. They say, hey, Oga, just give us 2,000. I shock. I ended up giving them about 10,000 or so. And they were happy. This was a while back. During this whole curfew, I took a walk. And one of them saw me at the junction. Said, Oga, nothing they happen. If all these girls they come around this area, with your side, nothing they happen. Loyalty. These guys are loyal to whoever it is that is taking care of them. So it is time for us to begin to take care of these guys and worry about them. Inclusion is important. They need to be included in the system, in what's really happening. If not, these elites who understand the game we continue to get to them before us, and they will use them till they scatter everything we will get as our own plan. We have to take care of the hoodlums. You don't get how I want it done. We may shout and shout and shout and shout. If we don't take care of these guys, they will be used to perpetuate evil. They will be used to destroy every plan that we have on ground. They are our brothers, they are our sisters. They are not different from us. Many of them were just not so fortunate to be on our own side. In this country, there is the oppressed and the oppressors. Inside that oppressed, now that all of us fall inside. But even inside that oppressed, most of us see they segregate the good ones and the bad ones. Whether I like them or not, they are part of our society. And we all have to begin to think of how to come together to begin to help each other. In your own small community, if 100 people gather together and say, okay, 1,000, 100,000, do you know that can feed some of these guys? Just carry them for one hall. So yeah, make we chop. Yeah, everybody chop. As they chop, because okay, you get what you want talk. From today, make nobody go they collect money from anybody. They say okay, make they go do bad thing. Small orientation on the enter. Small. When they chop, they go fit answer you. With 500 naira, they can convince these guys to go and destroy a full city. During the protest, some small boys were giving 500 naira to take knives and walk into the protest ground. It was that bad. So it is time we begin to really pay attention to these guys and see how we can get them on our own side. They are very loyal. They are loyal to those guys who take care of them. It's time for us to begin to take care of them before these evil ones begin to use their own corner way to take care of them. Once they go, they do bad. So we know they shout. We know say tomorrow now, don't say okay, we are at the polling booth, for example, and then they bring guys now to come and say, yeah, I made the snatch. If they come with weapons and everything, what you and I won't do. But right now, we can begin to get them to be on our side, and that they go see from security on those days to say nobody go call you can't thief anything. Before you know what, we are winning, which is the ultimate thing. We are winning. So I'm just saying all of this as part of strategy. You know, while we are planning other things, let's also put this at the back of our mind, and I hope it helps. All right. If we have any other ideas, make all of us relate and let's move forward.